And then mute all. There we go. Yeah, that seems to be working. Okay. So welcome everybody. Yeah, this seminar is going to be about Microsoft Planner. But first I'll introduce myself. So my name is Jarno van der Kolk, and I'm the Senior Scientific Computing Specialist at the University of Ottawa. And normally that role is for helping researchers with their high performance computing needs, like getting onto Compute Canada and programming parallel code and that sort of stuff. But today I'm going to talk about project management. And I'll share the slides now. Okay. If you can see the slides, can you let me know in the chat? Okay, great.
Yep.
Okay, well, let's get started then. So yeah, the project management software, it's a very helpful tool because it lets you keep an overview of all the statuses of your projects. So you can glance at one dashboard and you'll see everything that's going on, what tasks are late and who is doing what and that sort of stuff. So it gives you a nice overview of who is doing what, which is especially nice during the current pandemic where everybody's working from home and you're not quite sure what other people are doing. It's also helpful for collaboration because Microsoft Planner comes with a bunch of tools that let you collaborate on documents, chat with each other, video call, that sort of stuff. And also you have a history of all your past projects, so you can go back and see what was done for a certain project, and then you can duplicate it if you have a similar project or just to see what was going on back then. So we'll be using Office 365 Planner. It's a free tool. It's offered by the University of Ottawa. I have a link here on the slides. So it.uottawa.ca/Office365. That will tell you everything about the tools that we offer for Office 365. And you can access this particular tool through portal.office.com. It will have a list of all the tools that we offer. And it's nicely integrated with Teams and Outlook as well. So if you use Office Planner, you also have access to that through Microsoft Teams and all the other tools. However, it's a very basic tool, so it's not as big as its bigger brother Microsoft project, if you've heard of that. So it's fairly basic, but in one sense, that's a good thing because it means it will keep things as simple as possible. So I will be talking about how to use this to organize your research. So you have your research projects and you want to define certain tasks that you need to accomplish to reach a certain goal. Or if you want to publish your research, you can divide the work to the different authors that participate in the research. And you can assign the tasks per author. And it's a very structured method of assigning tasks for everybody, basically. You can also use it to organize students. So if you're a researcher and you're supervising somebody's thesis, you can assign tasks to the students and to yourself about all the steps that need to be done for writing a thesis. So they have to write outline, organize the chapters, and then there's the revisions and all that sort of stuff. You can also use it to organize your summer students. So you can give your summer students tasks. And then at the end, you have to write a report. So you can put that in a task as a task for yourself. And this is what Microsoft Planner looks like. So if you have a project, in my case, I have Project Supreme. Not the greatest at naming things, but this is what I came up with in the moment. And every project consists of buckets. So here's one bucket. It's called Paper About Microscopes. And that's an example bucket about writing a paper. And here's another bucket with a thesis for Jarno and a certain amount of tasks underneath it. So you can see that the buckets are subdivided in tasks. And the task can be assigned to persons. So here I've assigned 2 tasks to myself. Here I've assigned 2 tasks to a guest account. That's also in my name. And tasks, they can have files. So there's a little paperclip here that you can see. That means there's a file attached to this. It has checklists. So this task has subtasks. You can comment them off as you go along. And you can put in comments in all the tasks as well. So I'm going to go through all of these through the use of examples. So my first example is going to be Thesis Supervision. And there are tasks like creating outline, organizing papers to put into chapters and to write the chapters, then the revisions and the submissions and all that sort of stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Planner online and I'm going to create a bucket. So that's this one here. Oops. Where did I put my browser? There's my browser. So normally you go to portal.office.com. Actually, I'm already there. It will ask you to log in with your uO access credentials. So that's the same as your email and your password for uOttawa. And then you get to a screen like this, where I have a reminder that I'm giving a seminar right now. So that's very useful. These are all the apps that are available. Then you have to click on then you have to click on Planner. And then it will open the Planner interface for you. And here's my project. So I click on the project. And I have an almost empty screen. And there's still one bucket here, but I'm going to create a new one. And I'm going to write Thesis Jarno. So that's my first project. So I've created a new bucket here, and I can move them around. So I'll move this over here, since it's the first one we'll be working on. And then I can add tasks. So I can say define thesis topic, create outline of thesis, all right, introduction. So every time here I press enter and it adds the tasks. The tasks appear here underneath. Write methods section. And I can also assign tasks right away before I add anybody. So I'm going to add this to my guest account Jarno, which is going to be the student here. And you can see it appears here. And I can also set the due date. So I'll set the due date for May 27 task. And you can see now that a date appears here for when the task is due and who is assigned to it. You can also click on any of these tasks. It will open a new screen with all the details of these tasks. So you can set the progress. So define thesis topic is one of the first things you need to do. So I'll say that's in progress now. And it's due, well, let's say on Friday. So May 1st is due. You can write in a description here if you want. You can add a checklist. So you can define a subtask there. You can add an attachment. And you can write comments. So any comments you write here are sent to everybody that's part of this particular project. Assign. So I'll assign this to it. And I'll do the same for the other ones. So I'll set an end date, create outline of thesis. So that should be done fairly soon. So 6. And that's not started yet. And that's also that one. And write introduction. I'll also assign that to here. You can see the comments. Whenever you change something, it adds it to there. So this is writing introduction. So we could add an attachment here of a certain file. So that opens the file browser and you can select a file on your computer and you can add that. It takes a bit to upload and then it's uploaded. And by default, it shows it on the card. And that's, you can see it here and here already. The document is trying to show a preview. I'll just turn it off for now so it becomes less cluttered. So as you can see, we have now a list of tasks that are available for this this bucket. I'll just create another one that I'll assign to myself. So, oops, add tasks, review, introduction, and I'll assign that to myself. And what did I say for the introduction? It doesn't have a due date yet, so I'll just leave that be. So all these tasks that you write here, they show up in the chart section. So that's the overview that you'll have of all these tasks. I'll come back to this later, because first we're going to fill out the tasks a bit more. I think I already did this. So the first task is to create an outline and we assign the tasks. And we can do a start date and end date. These are all optional, by the way, but it's very helpful if you put in an end date, because that lets you give you a much better overview of all the things that are in progress and when they're due. And also, when you put in an end and a due date, Planner will automatically create notifications for the person that needed to do the task, and it will get another notification if the date is expired and it wasn't completed yet. So Planner automatically helps you send reminders to people that need to do certain tasks still. So we added more for tasks. And like I said, you don't need to add a date right now because that will be done. You can do that later. Also, you can resort the tasks. So if I go back to the browser, I can move these tasks around to have my own order here. Normally, the oldest tasks go at the bottom and new tasks go at the top. Oh, I forgot to add this task actually, so I should do that. Now it's added and assigned to me. And I can say that this is an important task. And also on the right here, you have labels. So you can assign certain color-coded labels to your tasks. So I can say, by default, they're empty. And I just say the name of the color. But I can click on here and I can say, this is a milestone. And then I click on the little checkbox here. And then it's assigned to this task. And you can see it's automatically added in this description as well. Okay. So then when you're doing this, you assign tasks and then the student gets to work, or you get to work. And when they're done with something, you can click on this button here and it will complete the task. So if you click here, the task will disappear from the list and you'll get a new drop-down menu here that shows completed. So if you click on that, then you see the topic is crossed out and the checkbox is here. You can also do that through progress. So if you click on the task itself and you go to the project drop-down menu, you can choose in progress or completed. So here it's completed. And then when all the tasks are completed, then your thesis is supposed to be complete. So you just keep adding more and more tasks until your project is finished and all the tasks in your bucket are complete. So now we'll go to the overview. So we've added a fair number of tasks now. So if we go back to the browser and then we click on charts here, you can see all the buckets, the priorities, and all the members of this particular project. So we can see in one straight overview here how many tasks are left for all the buckets. So we have Thesis Jarno and Thesis Anybody that was already there. And these are all the tasks that I added to the thesis. So all of these tasks are not started yet. And if you see here, it's one task has been completed, one task is late. You can see here that it's in the Thesis Anybody that the task is late, and six tasks are still left. Now, the nice thing about this overview is that you can also use filter. So in the top right here, you have filter. And you can choose to show only tasks that are due today or tomorrow or next week. or you can choose it by bucket. And I only want to see the task for Thesis journal. So I click on that, and you can see that it all changes. So now I have the 4 non-started tickets and the 1 completed ticket, task for this bucket. And I can see that 1 is assigned to myself and 3 of them are assigned to the guest account. And here on the right, we have all the tasks as a list. There's a lot of other things you can filter on, like you can filter on specific persons. You can filter by label. So if I only want to see the ones with the label milestone, I only assigned 1 task to that. So if I click on that, you only see that 1 task. And when you want to clear the filter, you can click on clear here. And then everything comes back. And then for the right side of the screen, you have group by bucket. So if you click on that, you can change the way it's represented. A nice one here is due date. So you can see all the tasks that are late just in one quick overview, and you can follow up on those. Or you can look at progress. So you can see that a lot of tasks are not started yet. And the other one, oh, sorry, for due date, there's also the ones that have no date yet. So if you have tasks with no date, they are in danger of never being done. So you can look here and see the ones that don't have dates yet. So if you click on these tasks here, it will open the same screen as you had before. So now you can say, oh, I want a due date for this one. Put it on May 12, for instance. And you can see it automatically changes. So if I close this, create outline is now set into the future. Let's see, that was all I want to say about this. Then the other view that's also quite handy is the calendar view. So I'll go back to the browser again. And here on the top, there's another button called schedule. So I can click on that. And then it will show me all the tasks that are coming up and that have passed. So again, you have a filter. And I can filter by bucket Thesis journal. So I just concentrate on that one. And then I can see my tasks for just this thesis. Here's my creating an outline of the thesis. And if I go to the next month, there's the write method section. So these are all the ones that I gave a date. And here on the right, it shows the one that don't have a date yet. You can also set a start date. So also any task in here, you can click on them and you get the same screen. And if I set a start date, so suppose I started this May 1st, then you can see it takes the whole week. Otherwise, it just shows you the due date. So that's kind of a matter of personal preference. I kind of like the ones where you just see the due date. Otherwise, it becomes a bit chaotic. Also, Microsoft Planner has this somewhat annoying habit that if you have a task if you 2 tasks on the same day, it will show it in a not such a great way. So if I, for instance, take this one and I put it on May 5th, so it overlaps with one of the other ones. Thought I set it for May 5th. Did I do April? Let's see, go back a month. Yeah, so sorry, I did that for April. So I can click on it again and I say I want May 5th. I go back to May. Oh, when I was testing this earlier, it changed this. Sorry, let me try that again. Set the due date for May 5th. May 5th. Yeah, so now it changes it in two more. So that means the overview is not so great anymore because you can't see in one view all the tasks that are due to that day. However, you can switch to the week. So if I go to the week view, then you can see that you can see all the tasks in here. There's also a plus that you can use to add new tasks straight into the calendar. So if you click here, you can enter a new task for that day. So summarize main findings. And that should go in Thesis Yarno. And I'll assign it to Yarno. And then add task. And now it's added right in here. Now I'll go back to the month view. And there it is. So yeah, the schedule lets you see in one glance what's going on. And the week one lets you see detailedly per week what's going on. Oh, right, I forgot to mention. You can also just drag task around. So if I don't want to have this due on the 8th, but say on the weekend after, after the weekend, I can just drag it and put it on another day. And that's very easy. And now you've added a few tasks, and there's another feature of Microsoft Planner is that if you go to My Task, it will show you all the tasks that need to be done by you. So I'll go back to the browser, and that's here on the right, My Tasks. So if I click on that, I can see all the tasks that were assigned to me. So I only have 3 tasks out of all the tasks that I created. And you can see them here quite nicely. And this one is in red because it was already due in April 22. So that's a task I haven't done yet. And like before, you can click on any task and edit it right there. Yeah, so this Office 365 is very integrated with Planner. So there's other tools in Planner that you can access. So other tools in Office that you can access right from inside of Planner. So I'll go back to the browser. I'll go back to my project. So I can go to the Planner Hub and select it there, or I can use it, select it from my favorites. So if I go to the Planner Hub, if you move your mouse, if you move your mouse over the plan, you'll see a star appear. And if you click that, it removes it from the favorites. And if you click it again, it adds it to the favorites. So it allows you to see just the plans that you're currently interested in and not the old ones, for example. So I'll click on that. And I'm back in my, I'm sorry. And I'm back in my planner view. You'll notice that the filter is still here. So it remembers it every time you move to a different page. So that's something to be aware of, that suddenly you don't see a task anymore. You'll have to check the filter. So you might have filtered something in a page and then moved around a bit. And if you go back to anywhere, it will remember it. It's also still grouped by due date. And I want to group by bucket, which is the normal view that I'm used to. So there they are. And then on the top here, there's the triple dots. So there are more options available for this project. So I click on that. And for instance, there is something called files. And if I click on that, it opens a new tab in my browser, and it shows you all the files that are associated with this planner project. And you can see the sum document that I just uploaded in one of the tasks. It appears right here now. And I can just open it, and it will open Word inside of the browser. And you can edit the text document right there. And it automatically saves it out as well. So there's no save button here anymore. Anything you type is automatically saved. If it's, to be fair, it takes some getting used to. So I'll close that. The other thing you can do is you have a shared notebook. So if you click on the notebook, it will open OneNote in the browser. And I've already added a section here, and the section already is a page, and I wrote some more stuff in here. So I have a thesis plan, main topics. I can add another page here findings or something like that. Microscopes make things bigger, for instance. That was my main finding. And again, it automatically saves it. So every time you type something, it automatically uploads it to Office 365 and available for the rest of the team. So I'll close that. And you can also open it in Microsoft Teams. I'm currently using Teams to stream this, so I will not touch this button right now. But you can also open Planner right inside of the Teams application, and you can work from it right in there while you're calling with somebody or chatting with somebody. So other options are export the plan to Excel. It exports all the tasks that you have created into an Excel sheet, and then you can use your Excel wizardry to find more insights about your projects. It only exports a task, so it's of limited use. For instance, if you have a checklist, I don't have one right here. So let's take this one. I'll add a checklist. So this is create an outline of thesis. Describe chapter 1. Describe chapter 2. So now I have 2 items, sub-items for my tasks, which you can see through the little checkbox here, and 0 of 2 have been completed. But if you export that plan to Excel, it won't do that, which is a bit too bad. There's also the option to add the plan to the Outlook calendar. So any due dates, any tasks in progress for you will appear in your calendar, which is kind of nice to have. But I do prefer the My Task because it's literally an overview of all the tasks that still need to be done. Yep, that was that. Oops. So here's another example. Suppose you're writing a paper with somebody. Yeah, sorry. So there are a few typical tasks that you need to do, like you need to fine-tune your theories, you need to collaborate with others, and specifically external collaborators. So that's all possible through Planner and Office 365. You have to discuss the draft, you have to revise it, and then you submit it, and then you have to do the corrections from the peer review and all that. So you can add all these things as tasks. So yeah, like before, we add all the tasks, and then we're going to add external collaborators. And for the collaborating documents, so I already showed you files where all the files are kept relevant to this particular Planner project. But for Word, you actually have collaborative editing. So 2 of you, as many people as you want, can open the same document in the browser, and they can all edit the same document at the same time. And you can see each other's cursor, and you can see what text they're writing. So I'll demo that in a minute. But if you use LaTeX, that's not well supported by Office 365, which I guess is not surprising. So for that, you're really better off using Git or overleaf.com or something like that. Yeah, and then you divide the task over all the offers, basically. So let's see. So I could create a new bucket again, add new bucket. Paper about microscopes. So add task. Finds data to plots. Create outline. Write introduction. Write methods section. And so on. So I'll assign it to an external collaborator here. And I'll also assign it to myself. So you can assign multiple tasks to, you can assign multiple members to the same task. So for some tasks, you need multiple people to work on it together. I'll assign this to that one. Assign that to Manuel. So I have a bunch of tasks I have assigned right now. And you can see that I've assigned some of to the external collaborators. And I'll show you what it looks like right now. So I'll open another session. So, okay, sorry. So you can add non-uOttawa members as guests to your project. There are some limitations to that, like they have limited access to Teams. They don't have the full access that you would have as a uOttawa person. And they always need to use this special link. So task.office.com/uottawa.onmicrosoft.com. So that's uottawa.onmicrosoft.com. That specifies our university for Office. So if I go to my browser, and I'll open a new private window, so I can use 2 sessions at the same time. And I go to task.office.uottawa.microsoft.com. And then it will ask me to sign in. So I'll use an account that I use for spam. So it's not very important. Log in. Oops. So now I'm logged into my external collaborator account. And you can see the Planner Hub, which is where I'm right now. It is the project Supreme that I'm a member of. And my tasks, these are all the tasks that I was assigned on my guest account and the tasks that I have completed as well. So I'll go to the Planner Hub. And this is the same overview as before. So I have all my tasks for this bucket, and for my paper, and all the tasks that were assigned. So that's the same view as I had before. So I'll just put this to the right of my screen, and I'll put the other one to the left of my screen. So on the left side, I have my uOttawa account, and on the right side, I have my guest account. So if I go to Files, and I open the Word document, so document.docx, and Word opens in my browser right here. And I do the same on my guest account. So I go to Files. And then I open the document.docx file. And then I wait a bit for it to connect. Yeah, you can see now the cursor. So I can see the cursor from my main Ottawa account in the guest account. And here I can see the guest account, which I confusingly also named Jarno. And I can change stuff. So you can see whenever I click somewhere else, the cursor here changes as well. So I'll change this to create a sample from the material. And you can see as I'm typing this in my Word document using my uOttawa account, the same thing appears on the right using my guest account. And of course, I can do the same on the other side. And it shows up. So that's pretty neat. It allows you to collaborate in real time on a document while you're talking over Teams or chatting or video calling. And you can collaborate in real time like this. I'll just close this. And I'll close this browser as well, since I will get out of my guest account. So, and I already added the members to my account at first. And I'll show you now how to add more members. So here on the top right, you have a member box that you can click, and you can add members here. And this is a bit confusing of Office 365. The only names you can add here are members of uOttawa. So I can only add people that work for uOttawa and have a uOttawa account. If I want to add external guest accounts, I have to do it a bit differently. So I click on the triple dots here, and I go to members. Oh, for some reason, this is a bit finicky. It doesn't always work on the first time. I'm not sure why that is. Members. There we go. So now I can see the IT Research Planet Test. It's a private group, and I can add members here. So here are all the current group members. I can go to manage group members down here, and then I can add members. And it will let you put in the email address of anybody you want. And then it will give you the option here of guest. So when I click on this one, it says member to be added, one guest, they'll limit access to the group resources. And then when I click add, it will send an email to that person, and that person will have access to the external access. So that person will have access to this plan. I won't do that right now because this is a fake email address, of course. Yeah, leave. Okay. Yeah, and like I said in the beginning, pretty basic program. So there are certain limitations for it. So resource tracking is not possible in Planner. So if you have postdocs or students that have a contract, ideally you would like to put that contract in the plan so you can see when the contract ends. That's not really possible. There's a workaround. You can add a new bucket for contracts and then add a task there with the length of the contract. And that's a way you can keep track of it. There's also no milestones, so certain big events that need to happen. And I already showed you that a bit in the beginning. You can use a label task for that. So you can add the little labels. I'll just show you that again. If I go back. This label here. So I can select another one and choose any of these labels for milestones by putting the checkbox here. You can actually have multiple labels on the same task as well. And you can see that they all appear in here. And the other big downside of Planner is that it doesn't have any finances. So there's no way to look at contracts and look at how much money they need and all that sort of stuff. So it's purely for assigning tasks to your collaborators or to your students or to yourself to keep your research going very smoothly. So yeah, in summary, the workflow is basically you make a plan, you break it up in tasks, and the tasks you put in the buckets and you assign them to everybody. And the dashboard will let you see what's going on and what still needs to be done. And it's important for that to set the due dates for independent tasks. So what I mean with that is you have to specify it as as specific as possible. So it's not like a general fake thing like write paper, but you have to divide it up in subtasks. And to get access to this, you need to have a team in Microsoft Teams. You cannot make a plan yourself right now. You have to get our IT team to create a plan for you. So to get access to Microsoft Planner, you'll have to contact the service desk. I put a link in here. That's all the methods are there that you can use to contact us. And the hours of operation. So it's at the moment it's calling 6555 or open a ticket in Top Desk, and they'll create one for you, and you can create new plans in there. Yeah, this is my advertisement slide basically. This is what I normally do at IT. So anything related to research I can help you with, including setting up this and helping you get started with. You can contact me through Top Desk, which is our online help desk ticketing system. You can also email me if you want, and I'll guide you further. And there's also additional resources. So we have, well, not we, but there's a partnership with LinkedIn Learning. It's a great website where there's lots of material available in the form of video lectures. and we have free access to it. So if you go to LinkedIn Learning and you search for a planner, then you can log in with your UO Access credentials, so your uOttawa email address and your password, and you'll have free access to all the resources that they have. And that is the end of my presentations. And I'll have some time over for questions, which I'm sure you have. So I'll go stop the sharing. Yeah, and I'll go to the chat.
It looks great.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, it looks very good.
Yeah, yeah, it's simple, but it can be effective.
I think what people need to understand, mostly, Darno, is the fact that you need to be part of a team inside team in order to create your plan and put it in there. So whatever you give access to people in your team, those are the people that you'll be able to give them like task in your planner, right? So for
Yeah,
instance,
exactly.
so if I have one myself, like I did like you, I created a little Carl's project. I sent my ticket to the help desk. They had this created for me, and now whenever I want to plan something in there, for instance, if I wanted to add somebody from UGME or PGME at the faculty, then they would need to be part of my team before I can assign them a task. So that means you need to plan this carefully because I'm going to grant these people access to my files inside my team that I've created as well, even if I didn't intend to share those files with them. So there's a little bit of planning using Planner into creating all this, right? So
yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah. So when I showed you that you can add the members, yeah, they'll all get access to your files, like Carl said, but just for that teams.
So Carl, do we have teams already set up in MED that we would join, or do we set up new teams specifically for special projects?
Well, I believe you already have a team for the BTO, so you can use that one to start playing with Planner. But let's say you were to, work on a project that would involve other people than your BTO team, then you would need to have a new theme created just for that purpose. Yeah.
Right. So if I'm working with pathology or PGME, we would need separate teams then, most likely.
Yeah, because I don't think you can separate all this using the channels in team. I could be wrong, but maybe Jarno, you can shed up the light on that one.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Yeah, you can create specific teams for files. Sorry, specific teams for specific groups of people that need access to it.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. I see some questions in the slides too, or in the chat. Will the slides be shared with us later? Yeah, I will send the slides to everybody. I also recorded this presentation and will be putting it online. Can you talk a little bit more about the staff notebook? Oh yeah, sure. So I'll go back to sharing. So the staff notebook. So this is based on OneNote. I don't know if you ever used OneNote before, but it's basically a lab notebook that you can use to write about whatever you want. You can sort of see it as a big Word document where everybody can write their little notes in, but it's much more organized that. So you can create sections and you can create pages. And inside of the pages, you can write whatever you want. There's all this formatting available. So you can use it to keep notes about a specific, yeah, like your findings. You can, I think you can also put in images in here. Yeah, you can put in pictures. So you can put in plots that you would like to share and basically all the work that you did on a certain paper. So I hope that answers your question. Let's see, I think I need to stop sharing to see the chat, which is kind of annoying. If someone is not assigned to a task, can people on the team still have access to the files? Yeah, they do. So everybody inside of a Teams, they will have access to the file of that team. So all the members will have access to all the files. Let's see, what other are there? It looks like Noel answered a whole bunch of them already too. Okay, so are there any questions I missed? Let me know now.
Hey, Darno, I was just looking. There's no application for this, right? It's only online, or unless you're going through Teams. Is that correct?
You can go for Teams. There are also applications for iPads and Android devices.
Yeah, I saw that because you can say get the app, but it's a mobile app. All right.
It's a mobile app, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you install Teams, Teams will have Planner in it. Actually, I can probably show that. So I'll just share my desktop again. And I think I can open Teams from here in the browser. So I don't want to launch the application. I want to use the web app. Yeah, so this is Microsoft Teams in the browser. And when you click on the triple dots right here, more apps. Oh, I'm pretty sure it was possible to add Planner there. Planner. Does it open it in the browser? Oh yeah, no, it opens it right here. So now Planner is part of your tools inside of Microsoft Teams. So I'm using it in the browser now, but the desktop app will look exactly the same. So now you'll have access to Planner inside of the Teams app. But really, it's still just a website.
Sounds good. I see that. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, so we will share the slides via a link. I will email the slides using the people that registered to this. Can a planner doc be integrated into a slide deck? Oh, I don't think so. No, I don't think that's possible since Planner works inside of the website. I think the best you can do is make screenshots, which isn't ideal. Is it possible to change the theme once the plan has been created? Yeah, once you create a team, you can always add members and you can remove members. Not sure if you can change the name, but it's very easy to just ask for new teams and start from scratch. Because anybody you add to the teams will have access to all the previous file in that teams, which might not be what you want.
Can I ask a question, Jarno?
Yep.
So it's regarding that. So we have created several already projects, but we assigned it to a team that's broader than we want it to be. So we already have a smaller team. So we're wondering, do we have to go back and redo all those projects because we assigned them to a very large team and it was really only intended for our small team?
That's a good question. I think you have to redo it. The only export function that Planner has is to export it to Excel, and then there's no way to import it again, which is kind of annoying. I'll ask our IT collaboration team to make sure, but I don't think that is possible. Yeah, I'll ask and I'll mail that when I mail the slides out.
Thank you so much.
Sure. Can you explain why we have to ask for a team to be created? Yeah, that's a good question. So I think that's because of, so we have administrators for our Office 365 environment, and they set the restrictions so that not all the teams can be created. I think that is because to keep things under control, basically, but I don't know the exact reason. I'll have to ask. I think it's a technical reason, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'll have to ask that as well. Okay, so that looks like it's answered the questions. Yeah, we'll have our friend session tomorrow by Noel, and after that we'll get the recordings out and put them on the website, and then everybody can watch them again. Okay, thank you all. Thank you for joining, and yeah, probably see you next time for my next seminars. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.